guys, welcome to today's video. It is sunny, can I tell you? It's been 2 or 3 weeks since it's been sunny. We have been having just May, well, it's called June gloom, but we've had it all of May and then some, and it might get sunny around 4. So I wasn't going to shoot today. I haven't done my zip, which I feel that I desperately need, but I wanted to sit down and shoot because I have some new stuff. I did a Sephora haul here, and we are going to be doing the new Fenty foundation. And if you like my 3-day wear test, not to worry, I'm going to do a 3-day wear test as well. But today I'm just going to put it on the face. And I have the new YSL bronzer. Someone told me that they love this about a month ago, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It finally landed at Sephora, so we're going to do that. The blush from Danessa Myricks. This is a cream to powder kind of thing, called a Lowlight. It's a bronzer from Saie, and I know, why do I have 2 bronzers? I haven't opened it yet, but online this looked more like a contour than a bronzer. So we're going to give that a try, and a new color of the Dior lip. So that's what we're going to be doing. And let's get into it. I have done my skincare, and I went in with the Innbeauty sunscreen. And I gotta tell you, you guys, since I bought this, I've used it every single day. It's just so easy. It has a teeny bit of a skin tint. I'll do my video right here. I'll link it. And it takes down my redness a little bit, not as much as my Tula, but I just love it. It's so comfortable and yummy. I'm very, very impressed with this brand. So much so that I actually might try their highlighter in this video as well. So let's get into it. Let's go on. In my 3-day wear test, I am going to also show you a couple of other colors, but this video may be pretty long, so I'm not going to here. And I did want to actually do my beauty blender with this, but I'm going to do a pump and a half because I didn't get my beauty blender damp, and go in with a brush. So a Z brush. Oh, by the time this comes out, the Beauty Lush sale is over. I was going to say, this is a Sonia G brush that I've had for a while, but I'm suddenly really loving it. This is shade 230. This shade, I don't think is right for me. I just went onto the Sephora site and put in the Givenchy Prism Libra because I feel it's such a good color for me. And they said it's just the closest thing to that. And the sunscreen's been on for about 10 minutes. I like to let that set up first. And now I'm just going on with the Hot and Flashy brush. You can use any small brush and just make sure my hairline is blended so you don't really see what's going on up there. And I like to do something around the eyebrows. This looks beautiful on the skin. I'm going to lean in and pull you in, and you can see what's going on. It is very, very, very nice. It's very shiny right now, but we got to give it a little time to dry down, and then we'll powder it. Usually I go on with eyes, which gives everything a time to dry down, but I didn't buy anything for eyes. There wasn't any new palettes out. So this is the Prism Libra concealer. Really easy to use, so I go to it probably more than anything else. And there's the base. I will say this. I've tried many. I kind of want it to my neck, even though I know it'll get on my shirt. Whatever's left, I'm going to do on my neck. There's so many great foundations out right now that I find myself thinking, yes, this is fantastic, this is fantastic. And it really, right now, it comes down to color because there's so many good formulas. The new Makeup Forever HD, I'll post that right here, beautiful. But you know what? I ended up returning it because it was too yellow for me. And I want to be as close to my color as possible. So it's really about color for me. But this is gorgeous. I would say that this coverage, the way I applied it this time, is a strong medium. And that my redness is totally gone. And it's it's just lovely. I have nothing bad to say about it. All right, I got my Beauty Blender damp for my blush, but I want to try this new Saie. This is supposed to be a bronzer, but online the color looked very cool, and it does look very, very cool. This looks cool enough for me to be a contour. Ooh, an amazing contour shade. That, my friends, that's not a bronzer. Okay, I have no idea. I'm just going to do that. And then I'm going to get this small refer. This is 35, and it's really made for eyes, I think. We're just gonna see what happens. It blends in beautifully. And then I'll go with a Beauty Blender just to bring it up a little bit. And blend it out a little bit. I'm going to do a little swatch comparison to Biscuit from Westman Atelier. I didn't even have to blend it. Picking it up with my brush instead of putting it on the face, also really easy. But I'll go with the Beauty Blender just for kicks. Let's try the most dangerous thing. We're going to try a nose contour. I know I'm going to regret this. And the shades, you guys, I will list in the description box. Whoops. Okay, so I would say that this is a little too big to do nose contour, but you know what? In this mirror, this didn't look bad. This might be my best nose contour ever. Nose contour, very hard for me. I think it's tricky. I'm actually going to do a lot of comparisons, I think, on this video. This is the Saie, and this is a heavy swatch of Biscuit. So Biscuit is cooler, but I think this Saie is actually cool enough for me to use as a contour. I do see a little bit of red in here, which I do like, actually, a lot when I'm doing a bronzer. So this could be two things for me. You and I both have seen so many people use their contour for a bronzer, or their bronzer more often than not as their contour. They call it brontour. But I think this color, great color for a brontour. I'm just going to take a little on the tip and do a little bit of more. Now I don't do contour that much, but I like to do contour right here. There's a bone right here, and that will help to slim your face. If it looks too hard, go over with the butt. Yes, I do think that this would be a good bronzer and contour. And if you wanted to go for that sunburn look, this Saie blush in Chili is it. I do have another blush, so I'm not going to do this today, but really, I'm really impressed. Let's go on with the blush, because the blush is also a cream. So, of the colors to choose from, Unbothered just spoke to me. You know I love a pink. And the other colors were a little deep, a little too much for my skin tone. Now, Danessa Myricks has oily skin, and she uses something called Upsolate in her cream products, which helps to absorb excess oil. At the same time, it's not dry nor dehydrating. This is a swatch of the color, and she's calling it a low light, and I think it's just a marketing thing. Low light, if you color your hair blonde, right? You have too much blonde, you put low lights in, you put some darkness in so it doesn't look so obvious, so, you know, retro. I think she's calling it low light because it's a blush with a highlighter in it. It's nothing new. We've seen Charlotte Tilbury do it, but Charlotte Tilbury's is really blingy. They're pretty, but they're just a little too much. So I think I'm going to do my finger on one side, and I'm going to do a sponge on the other side. Now Westman Atelier does something like this as well. We're going to do a swatch comparison, and that, unlike the Charlotte Tilbury, isn't too much. It's just lovely. So there's just a little bit. I don't want to overdo it. My face is already a little sheeny, so it's hard to tell how much sheen you're getting, but you can see here, you're getting some sheen. And then I'm going to take the butt, and they're both good applications. There's no issues with either of them. They blend really easily. I may have gotten a little more on this side, so I'm just going to match them up and bring the color up here. And I'm going to do another comparison with Westman Atelier. So this is Unbothered and this is Peau de Santé. They're pretty similar, not necessarily exactly the same, but pretty similar. And when I was putting this on the other day, I thought, wait a minute, this is interesting. Peau de Santé doesn't have as much peach, so I would say that Unbothered is a peachy pink. And there's the Peau de Santé. So this is also brighter. This is the Danessa Myricks, and this is the Peau de Santé, which is much more subtle. I'm still waiting for everything to dry down before we go on with the powder bronzer, but my lips are parched. This is the new lip glow, a new color from Dior, and this is the Kiss Kiss Bee something or other, again, all listed down below, and I love this. It's a lavender color. There's the Dior, and no, this is the Guerlain, and this is the Dior. I'm expecting this to impart just a hint of color, while the Guerlain is much, much deeper, but it's all about the lavender, which is very flattering for me. I love it. I think it's really fresh. And it's a little bit minty. I do have foundation on my lips. Hold on, let's change that. Love. Just a whisper of color, and it has this balmy feel that feels very like good for your skin, good for your lips. And as usual, this is my by Terry. I'll just kind of take the edge off, but since I am doing bronzer, I just want to do where I'm going to do bronzer as well. I'm going to do eyebrows. My eyebrow pencil is no longer available. It's not available right now. But I went on the NYX site and it's not even available there, but the other colors are. So I'm hoping it's just this color. In the meantime, I'm going back to this Charlotte Tilbury, which I haven't worn in ages, just to help out my brows a little bit. Okay, the YSL bronzer. This is Buff Dune. And this is, you know, fake leather. I used to have a wallet that was like this from Chanel. Well, I still do. It was stolen. And somebody found it and returned it, and I had already gone to another wallet. But this is the color. I know it's not super deep, but for me, I don't know, it's a little better not to go super deep. I have, for instance, a Gucci that's super deep, and I never go to it, even though it's beautiful, because I feel like if you go over, put a little too much, it's so hard to recover. I want to compare it to the Victoria Beckham, and they're in the same range, and I like using this one a lot because it's not too much color. I'm going in with my Suki brush, which is great for bronzer. It feels so fresh. You know, this is my favorite kind of look, a fresh, pretty look that doesn't look too makeup-y or too obvious. I like to put my bronzer right up here because when I get color, this is where I get it. And I also get it on my eyes. I do remember back when I used to tan, and being from Los Angeles, that was a lot, that it always made my eyes look super, super green. And part of it was the redness from the skin. Yeah, I like this color. It's a color that, for me, I'm not afraid of it. Get a little on the chin. And the jawline. But I'm not contouring. Maybe a little sides of back. No mascara, no eyeliner, no eyeshadow, although Natasha Denona is coming out with a new palette and I am checking every day to see, although I didn't check in the last 2 days, but I figured she wouldn't release it over Memorial Holiday because she's having a sale right now, but I am definitely getting that, and then we'll do a whole eye look. But I think this is such a pretty look. You know what I want to do? I want to get an eyeshadow brush and go back into the bronzer and do a little contouring, although I think I could do that with the Saie as well. And just have a little bit of a contoured eye. Such an easy look to use your bronzer this way if it's the right shade. And then tap it so there's a nice fade. Hi, baby. There. Oh, I love this look, you guys. I know it's not that makeup-y, and some people really like a makeup-y look. It seems to be the biggest people on YouTube are the people who do a very makeup-y look, but this is a look that I feel very comfortable with. I feel fresh and youthful, and I feel like the skin looks amazeballs. I'm just going to show you what's going on here. Boop, 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 boop. I could use some mascara. I don't do my lower lashes too often because I have darkness under my eyes and I think it can call attention to that. But since I'm not really doing eye makeup and I'm not doing a liner, I'm going to do that. And this is the Swede, which is brown. And when I reviewed this and the last couple of mascaras that I've done, I've mentioned mascaras are like fine wine. Well, any kind of wine. You need to let it air out to see what it's really going to be. And I've ended up using this quite a bit. And there it is. There's my look. I love it. So let's go over everything. Let's go last. I like this bronzer color. It looks like nothing on the skin. Powders are so much nicer now than they used to be. Big thumbs up for this. Packaging is very luxe. And there's a generous amount of product. It's a very neutral color. It's not too warm. And it's not too cool. I don't feel that it has any redness going on. That's the color right there. But it doesn't have yellow or orange. So if you are a neutral girl or even an olive girl, because I think olive might prefer this more than something that is more yellow or orange. Like I find the gallons are often super, super warm. And then we have the Saie bronzer, which I think this will work very well as a bronzer and a contour. I've used all the products, so I'll just show you one more time. This color compared to Biscuit. Biscuit, much, much cooler, but this is cool enough to use for contour, and yet I think can go both ways. So I think this is really interesting. Applied very well when I picked it up with the brush, putting it straight on the face. It worked well as well. And I think you could probably dip into the Beauty Blender and do all over. Let's just do a little bit and see what happens. Just like right here. So this would be a contour area for me where my little forehead bone is. Yeah, really pleased. I'm liking everything, which is kind of amazing. I will say the one thing I don't like about this, when I bring it down my neck, it's a good shade, but I have worn this a couple of times and I've tested it, and I went back to Sephora and picked up a couple of other colors. It's not the perfect color for me, but it's super lovely. Now the one thing I didn't do that I did talk about, so it's not over yet, is this Innbeauty. This is a liquid highlighter and it's huge. It had to happen. It's not a video if I don't drop something. And this is what it looks like right here. And I want to compare it to the Charlotte Tilbury, which is my favorite. I don't really highlight that much anymore because, you know, I wear sheeny foundations. That's the Tilbury, and this is the Innbeauty, the big swatch. I would say that the Innbeauty isn't as shimmery, and it's a little bit light, which I don't really mind, but if you're much darker than me, you probably will have a problem with it. If you have light skin, I think you might really enjoy this. And so much product, you can really go to town. You can actually use this under your foundation if you want to. Okay, now, continuing on. Thumbs up for this. I really like this. I think it's a lot of product. It is not similar to the Charlotte Tilbury. It is in color, but the Charlotte Tilbury, you can see that sheen. It's far stronger. Let's just do a little dot here. And that's something I see a lot of people do. Well, they'll put one little extra bit in a very small area of something sheeny. And maybe this would be the all over. And let me just do another swatch here. That's the Innbeauty. Much more sheer. In a way, it reminds me of the Saie highlighter. I forget what it's called, which is really lovely. But that is very watery. And this is a little bit more creamy. So, okay, now I did that. Really, really like this. The foundation, I think, is beautiful. It gives good coverage. It looks like skin. The only issue is I'm having a hard time with the color. The Dior, I love this color. It's very subtle. I know for a lot of people, you want a punch of color, but I like this. It kind of tones down my color. And from a distance of a couple of feet, it doesn't look like you're wearing anything, but up front or close up, there's something super precious about this. That's the right word. This is great when you want a little bit of something. If you have blue eyes or green eyes, I think it's going to light up your eyes a little bit because there's blue in here. But it will be such a subtle way where it doesn't look like you're wearing a lip color. So this is a thumbs up for me as well. The Danessa Myricks. I'm not getting the itchy things. I just want to check to see if it looks like it's dehydrated my skin. It does not. The skin looks plumped and pretty. What a pretty, pretty look. I like everything. What do you know? There's usually something's like, not the good color for me. Not this, not that. But I'm deeply loving this look. Wow. Okay. You guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope it was helpful. Everything will be linked down below, all the colors. I want to thank you for spending some time with me. I hope it was helpful to you, and I hope you come back again. And until we meet again, be safe and smart. It feels like I shouldn't be saying that anymore, but you know what? I do be safe no matter what, and smart. And also, I like to have a clothes that I can go to every single time. Otherwise, I end up talking too much like I am right now. And that is something that's embedded in my brain, so I just go to it. And it's basically me saying, I wish you well and good health. And what is wrong with that? So be safe and smart. And I'm wishing you good health.